My friends, it is a special honor for all of us at the College of Our Lady of the Elms to celebrate once again this great feast of the Epiphany with you, the viewers of the Chalice of Salvation. All of us join in thanking the Catholic Communications Office for the wonderful service they have provided our diocesan family during this very unusual year. By the time we celebrate today's Feast of the Epiphany, many people are over Christmas. Christmas trees have already begun to appear on tree belts, and decorations in our homes have come down. New Year's resolutions have been made, and the day-to-day routine of living has resumed. As a result, it's easy for us to miss the special meaning of today's celebration of what some people still call Little Christmas. A few thoughts come to mind as we listen to today's gospel and recall the journey of some very wise people of old to Bethlehem. This feast that comes to mind on this day are this. The journey we recall today is a journey that began in darkness. The wise people of old weren't exactly sure where they were going or exactly what they would find when they got there. There were more questions than there were answers, and as a result, these wise ones of old remembered today's gospel, had to trust and to trust deeply. They had to trust that the star they saw and the voice they heard would really lead them to the right place. In a similar way, the most significant journeys of our own life usually begin in the darkness of uncertainty and involve a trust on our part that God will lead us where we are meant to be. We begin treatment for serious medical conditions in the darkness of uncertainty and trust that God will lead us and those to whom we entrust our care. We end toxic relationships in our lives or jobs in the darkness of uncertainty and trust that our God will be with us as we begin anew. The second thought that comes to mind on this feast of the Epiphany is this. The journey we recall today is a journey that was characterized by a sense of wonder and awe. The songs of this season tell us that the wise people of old wondered as they wandered. These wise people of old wondered just where the star would lead and exactly what they would find. Perhaps more so than any other Christmas in our lifetime, this year we have been a people who have wondered as we wandered. We've wondered when this COVID crisis will be behind us. We've wondered and perhaps even worried what the impact of Christmas travel will have on the trajectory of the pandemic. This year, more than ever, we've had to ask ourselves the big questions. Questions like why suffering? Why death on such a large scale? Why sorrow and tears on the faces of so many during what should be the happiest time of the year? In his very recent book, Let Us Dream, Pope Francis addresses the COVID crisis and offers a pastoral response to the many questions that lie deep in our heart this Christmas. In this new book, Pope Francis reminds us that crises such as the present are moments of what he calls reckoning. He insists that we never emerge from a crisis of this magnitude the way we entered into it. In Francis's estimation, in moments of crisis, we reveal our hearts and either emerge better or worse than before. As Francis insists, in the current pandemic, we, like the Good Samaritan, are invited to find God in the suffering that surrounds us today. The scriptures of today tell us that the wise ones heading home from Bethlehem were transformed by who and what they found there. We are told that because of who and what they beheld in that manger, they went home by a different route. As the Christmas season quickly comes to an end, we think of the many ways we have been transformed this past year, the many ways we have grown closer together. As the Christmas season quickly comes to an end and this new year begins, let us hope that this COVID crisis will show us, in the words of Pope Francis, the pathway to a better future. Finally, let us pray through the intercession of Mary, whom we name Our Lady of the Elms, that our only diocesan comprehensive college will continue to serve as a beacon of hope in these times, as so many of our alums and faculty and staff active in the workplace and students currently involved in clinical placements and internships serve on the front line of this COVID crisis in healthcare and so many other professions. Alums and students who, because of your support of the College of Our Lady of the Elms, show our world and our church what Pope Francis calls the pathway to a better future.